have I ever told you the story of like when I was a kid, how me and my sisters, we were actually like, one of us would touch the radiator in the home, and yeah, one of us would touch the radiator, and then we would grab hands, and you could feel like, I don't know what it was called, I don't know if it was healthy either, but you could feel like the energy traveling from the radiator through each of our like bodies. Like as long as we stayed connected, holding hands, like you could feel like, again, whatever the charge was, you could feel it traveling through your bodies. And I know that because we would like switch places. Like, so maybe I'm on the end in the beginning, and I would hold that my sister hand in the middle, and then she would hold my other sister hand, and she would be touching the radiator, and then we would swap out. But we were so amazed that you could keep feeling that energy traveling through yourself. Like, again, I don't know what it was called. Like,
I think it's called like conduction or radiation conduction, something along those lines.
oh well, do you think that like in the same way when we were holding hands, you could feel that energy traveling through us? As long as we maintain that connection, that is the same way. If you maintain those connections with loved ones, you could feel the energy traveling through you.
What's up, everybody? My name is Gleesy.
And I'm Al.
And here, Forever I Do, we brag.
Yes.
That's right. We build relationships according to God. So my husband's talking about touching radiators.
Yeah. We were weird kids. If you had to stay in the house, so if the radiator was on, that means it was cold outside, so we
Yeah.
couldn't go outside and run around and play. So I don't even know how we started doing this, but again, we would touch the radiator and we would feel like the energy traveling. We were just so amazed, like, oh my God, hold my hand tighter. And we would feel the energy traveling through each other.
Well, I mean, I guess in a way, the same thing can happen if you stay connected to certain things, not by the radiator, but by making sure that you're doing other things that stay connected to those that you love, such as prayer.
Yes. So to me, in the same way, like whoever was touching the radiator, the energy would travel through them, and then it would travel through everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
To me, prayer is the radiator, or prayer is that conductive source that keeps you connected to the radiator, which is God.
Yeah.
So God will supply you with the energy you need to stay connected with, and as long as you stay connected with Him, whoever else you grab hands with, that energy will travel through you and travel to them as well. Like that's why, like somebody that's favored by God, like favor will actually travel through you and travel through those that you're connected to.
Yeah.
So prayer is so important, not just for your marriage, but for every relationship that you want to maintain.
Yeah.
Because as long as you connected to God, His power runs through you, and
Yeah.
it can touch other people as well.
Yeah, and it's so good because not all the time can you pray for yourself. Like, because sometimes you don't know what to pray for. So when you're connected to other believers or other people that believe in the word of prayer, then you're them praying for you or them praying in general. You're connected to them and you're reaping the benefits of their prayer. So that's so good.
Yeah. So pretty much at the same time that you're connected to the source, if they're connected to the source, that power, that energy, that it goes back and forth. It's reciprocated. It's not just a one-sided thing, and you can always be replenished. But again, it's so important to every relationship because you need that energy, because you don't want outside sources feeding you energy. That negative energy. Yes, because now, again, whoever you're connected to is going to feel that same thing. So if you're getting filled with negative energy, and now you connect with your spouse, and you connect with your children, you connect with your mother, father, other loved ones, you're sharing that negative energy. So you always need to be connected to that radiating source, which is, in this case, is God.
Yeah, that's why it's so important for healthy community.
Yes.
All right, so the next thing that you can do is one of my favorite things, date night.
Yes. Now, date nights are important because that keeps you connected to your spouse.
Yeah.
Now, we just talked about connecting to God. Now, you also want to stay connected with your spouse.
Yes.
And marriage is hard. It's not easy. It takes a lot of intentionality, and one of the things you absolutely have to be intentional about is date nights. Don't just think that, well, we went on dates when we were dating, we went on dates when we were engaged. So why would that change when you're married? Things change.
Yeah.
You get busy with work. If you start to have children, you get busy with children. Maybe you have a sick parent, or maybe you're just taking care of other relatives or other things. Things just always seem to pop up and get in the way. And if that date night is not put on the calendar quite often, it will not happen.
Yeah, at the beginning of the month for us, we try to put dates on the calendar for date nights, or if we're going to try to do something different. You know, I like to go to restaurants and try new food.
Yeah, okay. She likes to go to new restaurants, but she's not trying new food.
I'm not. I'm going to eat the same thing anywhere that we go. But we make sure that we put date nights on the calendar at the beginning of the month, so that way we can plan for, we get childcare set up, we can actually plan the date night, so that when that date gets here, there are no obstacles and no roadblocks to stop us from going.
Yes, and you want to be intentional from it or about it from the beginning. So in every season you want to be intentional, but you want to practice what you're going to do in your marriage before you get married. And then when you first get married, you want to have as many date nights as you possibly can, because there will be different seasons where it's only possible to maybe, like for us this month, we can only get one on the calendar, but we have to get at least that one on the calendar. We have to be intentional about it, because date nights refresh you. They keep your marriage from going stale. They keep you from growing bitter with your spouse, because you're no longer connecting with them in a way that you connected with them to get you attracted and get you to the place where you put the ring on it in the first place. So you need those date nights. You need to be intentional about it. And fellas, they don't have to be new and spontaneous every time. And
but sometimes they do.
Yes. But it doesn't. The important thing is to have it. I remember one date night where all we did was go out, get some ice cream or something, and we sat in the car and had a conversation for like an hour. That was all we did for our date night. But we needed that time. We needed to have a conversation that wasn't about the kids, wasn't about bills, wasn't about finances, wasn't about work. We needed just to have a conversation that's about us.
Yeah, I was going to add that not every date night. So you said we had one date night this month, but that's a date night outside of the house. Like you can still have like movie nights at home, have special dinners once the kids go to sleep, or, you know, are down and out of the way. Like you can do different things, but it's just, the important thing is to make sure that you're intentional with date night so that you can stay connected to your spouse.
Yes.
So we're going to stay connected to God. We're going to stay connected to our spouse. And who else do we need to connect with?
To those that you actually love outside of your spouse, outside of your actual home. Like, one of the things we like to do is have family nights. Now, you might have family nights and think, okay, if you have children, those family nights are just for you and the kids. Now, some can be. However, family nights are pretty much for those that you consider family. They could be for your in-laws. They can be for your parents. They can be for friends that are just so close that you want to be intentional about maintaining those connections as well. How we mentioned earlier, if you're touching the radiator and they're touching the radiator, again, we're talking about God, then you still will always be full. You will always have that positive energy flowing through you. So you want to maintain those connections, because those connections keep you connected to God. Even when you're not going to God in prayer like you should be, and we all have those laws, at least you have somebody else that's going to God on your behalf. They're praying for you. They know what your needs are. They know what your prayer requests are, and they're taking them to God as well. And they're keeping you connected. They're keeping you grounded to your main power source. So again, it doesn't just have to be blood. I know we hear those cliches, blood is thicker than water.
Family over everything.
Yes. But again, family does not just have to be blood. Like family are those friends that know you like no other, who you share values with, which is key as well. That again, they keep you connected to the source. So you want to maintain those connections. You want to be intentional about them. So have family nights. Have that time with your family. If you have kids at home, pop in a movie or whatever. Or also go connect with those people that you consider family. They may be friends by definition, but again, they're so close to you that they're just like family.
Yeah. All right. That is so good. All right. Thank you so much for joining us. If you haven't already, hit the like button. If you want to hear more from us, hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for all of your support. We'll see you guys in our next video.
Brag on it.